Let's stay with the Middle East crisis and what it is doing to world economies. We've got Firas Abiali, Middle East analyst at Exclusive Analysis, joining us from London. Firas, many thanks for joining us on this show. Now, the situation in the Middle East and North Africa does not seem to be getting any better right now. You have the US, France and Britain agreeing on a key role for NATO to lead the mission in Libya, but remain divided on who will lead the mission going forward. Do you think this uncertainty in the 28-nation alliance dilutes the focus of the mission in Libya right now?
I think that the objective of the mission is already unclear. I mean, the UN Security Council resolution authorizes the use of force to protect civilians, I think that the political objectives of the intervention is actually to overthrow Gaddafi, and it's not clear how this could actually proceed. For example, Gaddafi is very likely, in our view, to fortify himself in populated areas and around oil installations. This will make bombing him and bombing his forces extremely difficult, and it will make the onus of attacking him fall to the rebel forces, with the subsequent collateral damage to the infrastructure and to the civilian areas. So already the objective of the mission is not clear, and the strategy for enforcing the mission is not clear, regardless of the differences as to how it would be led.
Firas, what do you believe is the mood in the rest of the Middle East, and with the Western intervention in Libya? Of course, that is the burning diplomatic question as we speak. If they can attack Libya today, they can attack a Yemen or a Bahrain tomorrow.
I think that the situation in Yemen and Bahrain is entirely different, and the level of commercial interest in Yemen and in Bahrain is also different. I don't think that this would necessarily lead to intervention in a lot of other countries, although it might embolden, for example, the opposition in Syria to try to bet on a Western intervention against al-Assad's regime. But I think that so far the reaction from Arab media to the intervention has been largely positive, and Gaddafi is perceived negatively enough to justify intervention. I think that the mood would change very dramatically if we were to see intervention in terms of boots on the ground, which the UN resolution explicitly precludes. So far I think that the reception for the intervention is rather positive.
Firas, what do you believe a regime change across these Middle Eastern countries and nations could do to the rest of the world? What is your longer-term view on how the Libya crisis will play out economically and geopolitically going forward?
I think that in terms of the Europe's dependence on Libya, the dependence on Libyan oil is not very big. So this is a mitigating factor. This reduces the economic impact of the crisis in Libya. I think that for Europe, Algeria would be a lot more important in terms of what actually happens there, and to what extent does the oil and gas going into Europe keep flowing. This would be the first thing that I would point out. Secondly, I think that the most significant global impact would be for something to happen in Saudi Arabia, whereas a player like Libya, which is much smaller on the oil market, is of far less significance, and its significance is rather specific to places like Italy and France rather than to the broader global economy.